this is the key guy. You got to pay attention to him. He's in a downward slouching position, almost trying to hide from the defense because he's going to sneak out right here. It's 4th and 1. You don't need much, so it's going to be a boot action right here, and this is the guy you want to try to hit. You want to try to confuse everybody on the Clemson defense. Hide that guy and get the ball to him in the flat. You can roll the tape. You're going to see that he's going to get lost within all of this. You're giving so much action and movement to the left. This guy just sneaks out. You pop it out there. This Clemson defense is confused, don't know what to do. So that gives you the confidence for the two-point play to say, hey, okay, maybe they didn't pass it off correctly. Maybe I feel good about this one. So on this play, window dressing, it's going to be the same type of concept. It's going to be a fast to the flat with the quarterback boot again. But this time, you put a receiver right there. He's crouched down trying to hide from the defense. You're going to get some action right here. It's going to be a play action fake, and then you're just going to clear these receivers out, get them out of the way, and they're going to get lost. This Clemson defense isn't going to know who to cover. That guy's going to be wide open, fast to the flat. It's all window dressing, same exact type of concept, but Duke knew that Clemson was struggling to guard this. That's why they felt great about it for the two-point play. Go ahead and run this play. As you see, he's wide open. Clemson is confused on what to do. That's a great job by scheming up this defense in a short term. Without getting that first play, you don't get the second one. I think I covered it on EMAC. Did I miss anything?
Well, there's one thing that's really interesting, man, that I saw at the end of your tape there, and that was Sammy Brown looking around. He was confused. And so why was he confused? This is actually how Duke started. They went here and moved over. So I want you to watch this wide receiver sneaking back into the three-back position there. But one thing, let's back it up, and I want to show you something else, is you saw the left tackle. He's going to come over. So you see that big guy at the left tackle position. Now he's moving over. So what does this do? I'm confusing the defense. They're looking around with their hands up. They're saying, I don't know what to do. We've got guys yelling and screaming. So as an offense, I know I got you. I know there's no way you can do it. And we just have this little nub in the backfield as a three-back getting out in space. Coach, the one question I have, how the heck did we let that happen on defense? You got a guy running wide open.
I'm going to be honest with you, I can't figure it out because those formations are formations that we call that bingo rhino. In other words, the tackle's over, they tight it, you get two eligibles to the nub side. You practice against that from day 1 or 2 in camp.
Yeah.
I mean, from what you're trying to do. The big thing for me is the confusion on defense. Half the guys were playing man, half the guys were playing zone.
Right.
And I don't know if the call was wrong. I don't know where that came from. But let's look right here. Once they did their scatter and their set, they're going to play what I call a red 4. And where the confusion is right here and right here. Now stop it right here. This corner, because what they're faking blitz like you're going to play man. They're going to try to play zone. And what these guys do, they bail out. And they will play inside out on this receiver, and he will be on this receiver. This corner should be outside leverage and just sink with his eyes inside, playing in zone, letting that all get drained. But he replacing this, and the backers here, as you see, they don't know who has man. One of them's supposed to be over here. One of them should be lined up right here, just a little bit wider. And when this cross action, we call it cross, like it's cutter zone action. So what the backer should do is play back door. This backer should squeeze to play the flat with him getting drained with this corner squeezing, and they should have had it double teamed right here in this spot. And you watch. And watch when they run this play, watch. They do not do it. They're confused. No one picks him up. They double. The corner's playing inside leverage, and they double him. He doubles him. They both go here. Not one human being plays this guy right here. And this is one of the most common actions you get on the goal line. I cannot understand it right here. They actually ran a nice stunt to loop to play the quarterback, because if he would have played this, guess what the quarterback would have done? He would have walked in. The backers did not play it, and the corner did not play it, and they had it in a double team by what everybody else was doing, and it was just a complete breakdown from I always say this, certain players can play plays all game long.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they get to that one play at the end of the game, and they lose their mind. Right. They don't focus on the deep. They worry about winning instead of about do my job.
Right.
Let me just do my job. It doesn't matter what the score on the scoreboard is. And that's how those big players, that moment doesn't get too big for them. You had a couple guys here. The moment got too big for them. They didn't know what they were in. There was confusion, and you had no leadership. I don't know if they had any timeouts left. Could have called a timeout.
Exactly.
But I don't know if they had one. But if not, somebody on that defense has got to get them guys lined up. And the moment was too big for a couple guys there, and they didn't make the play.
And essentially, I know it's not on the iPad, it's not on the screen, but that wide corner who doubled essentially and stayed back, you're saying he should have had inside leverage?
No, he should have been outside leverage and seeing it.
Pressing him in and been sitting there.
And then setting it with his eyes. When that guy, and the backer, the two backers, when you get that cross action, he's got to play back a gap, because if the run could come back, because the front side, we've got a guy there, then he plays that back in the flat. So he's inside outing that receiver coming across. The corner is squeezing him, and he would have been in a vice right there, and they would be able to make the play.
Right. And it's little things like that have just been piling up on Clemson that I think there's
and you get down to one play in one game.
They're too good to play like that.
No doubt.
And you bring in a defensive coordinator like Tom Allen to fix stuff like that so that doesn't happen. That's what's so shocking about it, is because the secondary was good. Now they're playing worse because they're not communicating. They're out of position. I saw Cooper Barkay had a 70-yard touchdown because of a blown coverage. Right. They gave, before the half, the touchdown down the middle. Cover 2 is too easy to see. So they're messing up basic things. So then you go vanilla, and it's too easy, and a good quarterback will pick you apart, which is what we saw right before the half.
Yep. Exactly right.
They got to figure it out because they're too good of a football team to play like. It's hard to watch because you're watching like, man, that guy could be a first-round draft. He could be a second-round draft pick. Then what is going on?
Yeah.
But here's what happens, Eddie. When you lose some games and you quit focus, you already said, we got a chance to win the game. Let's win the game. Let's win the game. No, how do I win the game? Do my job.
Right.
Let the little, you're so big picture oriented, they forget the individual, like you say, the details, and they're not doing them. And all of a sudden, 1 or 2 plays has been the difference in every game.
Well, I'm depressed.
Well,
what else do you want to talk
that was a great breakdown on a more positive note. And really, to sum it all up, Duke, in a pivotal moment, took advantage of a Clemson defense that has struggled to communicate and execute all year long under first-year defensive coordinator Tom Allen. As for the Duke Blue Devils today, they have a non-conference matchup. They're heading up north to take on UConn. It should be an explosive game offensively. 2 of the best quarterbacks and some receivers in the entire country. And how about this? With that win at Clemson, they're very much alive in the ACC championship chase, now up to a 31% chance to make it to Charlotte. They do have UConn today, so can't overlook them with UVA looming just next week. From the Northeast, where Duke will be playing UConn today, to South Florida. That's where Syracuse finds itself, down in Miami Gardens to take on the 18th-ranked Hurricanes, who have lost 2 of their last 3 games now. And here is the cold, hard truth, you guys. Miami is 4-11 in November and December since head coach Mario Cristobal took over at the helm. Just can't seem to find a way to close seasons out. And closing was the issue last week in that loss to SMU after Carson Beck threw an interception at the goal line in overtime. Here is Beck on that play post-game.
No, I mean, they ran the same thing the whole time. I just execute the play that's called, and if I'm given the opportunity to, if I see something and change something, then I will. But again, I just execute the play that's called, and we weren't able to execute, at a high level at the end to be able to close it out.
Thoughts on that comment there, Coach?
You can look into that a lot of different ways. I mean, you can be sarcastic and say he's trying to throw something other, or he's saying, I just got to execute, and we got to make the play, and the receiver's got to stay flat. And we get the ball to him and run the play. And like everybody says, well, I should have called different plays. Well, if the defense is doing the same thing and we're going up and down the field, why do I want to change?
Right.
I mean, and you give him a lot of animosity and autonomy to change plays and move the ball around. That's where an experienced quarterback can help you out. But I don't look too much into that. I think you're talking about a guy who's down, and I'm just running the plays that are called. But they're good plays because guys were open. They moved the ball. I mean, that wasn't a problem. It was just they had an interception at a critical time in the game, ball ricochets off a guy, and a receiver slides up inside that they could have hit and maybe still won the game.
Coach, I'm with you, and I'll actually show you exactly what you're talking about because I believe you, and I'm with him with the frustration because if you notice, if you just do these little things, right? You talk about a veteran quarterback, what he notices that we got man-to-man. It's obvious to see, like he talked about. They did the same thing over and over again, so let's just execute. All right, I'm going to look off the safety. I'm going to throw the seam route. We're going to get a touchdown, right? Easy football. Why not just do it again? Okay, we're going to see. They're playing one high again. Same thing. I'm going to look off the safety. I'm going to throw the seam route. Well, the receiver drops it, right? Now you got an interception. Now, this gave SMU momentum. Well, here's the overtime play. All right, these two receivers are going to be singled up. The outside guys are doubled. What you need right here by Malachi Tony, one of the best young receivers in the country, comes flat across. Do not drift up the field. It's man-to-man coverage, and this guy can undercut it if you drift. That's exactly what happened. And those are the little things. That is why you see a quarterback who is frustrated because he knows we are so close. It's the little things in football that lose you games. They win you games, but they also lose you games.
The same thing as you saw at Clemson. I want to score a touchdown. What do I have to do to score a touchdown? I got to run the route because it's man coverage. And if I do anything, I slightly come back because I never let a guy undercut me. And there's a young receiver who's a phenomenal football player. But it's a great learning lesson right here. I don't do what I got to do to get the ball, then I score. He was trying to get to the end zone.
Yes.
The quarterback thinks he's staying flat, and that's where people don't understand. That's how small a detail that it is and how you can lose a game. It's not from not wanting to or our good intentions. It's just lack of poise and experience. That's where that really comes into play.
It's called protecting the throw.
Yep.
You always come back to the football no matter what.
To put a bow on this real quick, Emac, then what do you want to see out of Miami today against a Syracuse team that has struggled?
Well, this is a way different Syracuse team since they blew out Clemson in Death Valley. But you have to handle business. I mean, I said it. You laughed at me when I said they got to beat Stanford by 30. They beat them by 35. If you want any shot of being in this college football playoff, which I think there is a big outside shot, you got 14% right now to make this thing. You have to dominate everybody. And if I'm Mario Cristobal, I'm sitting in that locker room and asking, what do we want to do? How do you want to be remembered? I want to go out there and smash teams. I need you with me. That's the mindset today. Run the football at will.
I need to quit saying Miami's back. And they quit worrying about Miami going to the playoffs. We need to fix November.
Correct.
That's our job right now, to fix November. And our job right now, we're going to go out here and play our tails off every game. We're going to destroy everything in front of us. And whatever we get at the end of the year, we get. But we're fixing November right now for the future. And when we'll see what happens at the end.
And I don't want to put this out there, but I kind of have to. If you remember back to last year, Syracuse upset Miami up there in the Dome to keep them out of the ACC championship game and ultimately the playoff. We'll see. Syracuse, again, has lost 5 straight if that recreates itself down in South Florida. All right, much more still to come here from Charlottesville as we continue with the huddle on Hill. There's the UVA
the Gavinator has a friend.
Basketball team. Yeah, with the Gavinator. He's collected some friends. They are already off to a rousing start. This is just a couple of hours, really 15 hours after dominating NC Central last night at JPJ. There are high expectations under first-year head coach Ryan Odom for the Hoos. Can't wait to see what this hoop season has in store. Always, though, make sure you're locking into the ACC Basketball Podcast right here on the network. But over at Scott Stadium, Chandler Morris's lockers ready to go. That UVA jersey, not the only one Morris has donned over the course of his college career. Coming up, we're going to take you through his journey, the well-traveled journey of this quarterback. Plus, about 40 minutes away from game picks with 2-time Super Bowl champion, former UVA defensive end Chris Long. Stay with us live from Seaville.
There's an easier way. From painting and cleaning to repairs and more. Taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
With the new Assemble and Bake by Blue Apron, you can whip up a crowd pleaser in no time. Pre-chopped ingredients, Minimal cleanup. Just assemble, bake, and enjoy. No subscription needed. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code NEWBLUE20.
Stogo, the only apparel with adjustable medical-grade support, engineered with high-strength cables that reinforce the body. Designed to help you overcome injuries, minimize pain, and regain the confidence to get back out there. Black Friday sale live. Learn more at Stoco.com.
The University of Virginia is steeped in history and tradition, including this place UVA calls home. Not a campus, grounds. All over grounds, you can sense its mystique, especially in the fall when the trees turn UVA orange.
When those leaves start to hit the ground, it just feels amazing. And also with like football and basketball season coming in, there's just like a really lively atmosphere walking to class.
It's magical, the beauty of grounds and like the trees and Tundi.
The rotunda, stately and stern, harkens back to the founding of the university. The memorial to enslaved laborers honors those who built it. At the heart of grounds, the lawn is a timeless reminder of Virginia's mission to educate, and the corner brings town and gown together. The grounds also hold mysteries, as in numerous secret societies. They're signs and symbols, a public display of their faceless philanthropy.
A lot of times when events occur, like the Seventh Society will give donations, usually ending in like 777, so it's very mysterious.
They add to the feeling of a community here.
And the lore of the grounds itself.
But what makes these grounds shake is the hill inside Scott Stadium.
On the hill, it's just so much fun. Surrounded by total strangers, but also your closest friends.
Definitely the loudest and wildest part of UVA's grounds.
There is a shot of the hill at Scott Stadium, empty now, but that area will be packed tonight with students and fans for this Wake Forest Virginia game. And it is clear at Virginia that the quarterback, Chandler Morris, has won over the hearts of these Who fans over the short time that he has been there. There he is, Chan, the man. And for Chandler Morris, he has really lived a full football life, not only because he's from the state of Texas, of course, where football is king, but he's also the son of a coach. His dad, Chad Morris, was actually on staff at Clemson a little over a decade ago with head coach Tony Elliott. That long-standing relationship with Coach Elliott isn't the only reason Chandler Morris decided to come here to UVA. Really, guys, sometimes timing is everything. David Hale has the story.
I didn't come all the way to Virginia as a Texas boy to win 5-6 games. I want to win the conference championship.
Touchdown, Virginia! That's what you call a wow play.
I wanted it to be known around here that this is the goal this season, and that was the first thing I said in our first team meeting, and nobody looked at me wide-eyed.
He's got a ton of fire. He's a competitor. He's a coach's kid, so he knows, what it takes. He's won the starting job at some very, very prominent programs in college football.
Morris floats back to the goal line for a touchdown.
From the moment he stepped on grounds at the University of Virginia, Chandler Morris has been driven to win a championship. To understand his determination, though, you have to retrace the steps of his journey, starting at Oklahoma back in 2020.
Lincoln Riley was coaching, and he's put some good ones in the NFL, and thought that was a good opportunity for me.
Morris, he's got some speed up the right sideline.
Who were you in the locker room with when you were at Oklahoma?
We had Spencer Rattler, Tanner Mordecai, and then the next year they were bringing in Caleb Williams.
With the Sooners locker room crowded with quarterbacks, Morris opted to transfer to TCU. After a midseason coaching change, he won the starting job.
Morris looking deep. You got it. Catch by Quentin Johnson.
My first start was against Baylor, and they were a top 10 team in the country, and had a lot of success that game.
And once again, look at that. Touchdown, Chandler Morris.
The next season, I won the starting job and ended up getting hurt. Then Max came in and took the opportunity and ran with it, and the rest was history that season.
Max Duggan arrives.
Morris was named TCU starter again in 2023, And again, an injury upended his season. By the time he was healthy, Josh Hoover had cemented himself as the Frogs' QB1.
We weren't winning games that season, and to be able to come back healthy and not play kind of showed me that they'd moved off of me. That was very difficult. I really wasn't loving the game. I mean, I was ready to be done with football.
Morris talked with his family, including his dad, former Clemson offensive coordinator and Arkansas head coach Chad Morris, who helped convince Chandler to take one more shot at his dream.
North Texas came in and asked me to come play for the 2024 season. I wanted to play all 12 games, and I look up and I'm top 3 in all the stats in passing. I got done with the season and I met with my coach at North Texas. He was pushing me to chase my dreams and get back to the Power 4 level. And then Coach Elliott gave me a ring.
What was it about Virginia that said this is a good spot for me?
Where they were as a program, I think the fan base was extremely hungry. They've been chasing that success for a long time now, and I think everyone was just ready for it. I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
The experience on display right there for Chandler Morris. He has it. The coaches said he has it, and that's one of those deals, man.
When he called me to commit and say he was coming, he said, hey, let's go win an ACC championship. And I said, let's go. I mean, why not?
That was my whole goal, just coming here, trying to win over the locker room and have everyone buy in and do whatever I can for this program to get back on track.
Something along the lines of, I didn't come here to win anything less than an ACC championship. Since the start of last season when Chandler was at North Texas, he has piled up 12 games with 300 total yards. That's tied for the most by an FBS quarterback over that span, along with John Mateer, who we know is now at Oklahoma. Coach, what has Chandler Morris shown you throughout the course of this season?
He doesn't see the danger in anything. He only sees the good. There's quarterbacks who play and they say, well, I can do this, but I can do this, but I can do this, but. And we want, what do you say? They turn the ball over. They make interceptions, but they make no plays. This guy's not as scared to lay it out there. It's the Brett Favre mentality, guys. It's it. All right, you may get me once. I'm going to make a mistake, but guess what? Here comes another one. I'm going to let it fly. He never sees the danger in any play. And that can be dangerous at times, but it's also that's why this team is playing like it plays. He's permeated the offense, and now his attitude's into the defense and the things he's doing. And there was another guy I saw like that, I coached like that. A guy named Jameis Winston. Jameis could look at a play, and he only saw the good. He never saw the bad. I mean, do I got to stick it in that little hole? Okay, that's fine. And then occasionally, guess what? There was a pick. But 4 out of 5 of those went in that hole. Wow. And the guys around him start making plays. It becomes an attitude that we're here to win the game. We're not here to play the game. We're not here to let us win the game. We're going to take this game, and whatever we see, we're going to play it. And receivers love this because he gives them chances. I mean, he's going to throw the ball. If you're one-on-one, he's going to give you a chance. Occasionally 2-on-1. He's going to say, you know what? You want that ball? Let's go play it. And he's learned from mistakes, and he makes them. But, man, he's not scared to come right back. And his great plays truly override the mistakes. And me as a play caller, I love that. Yeah. I know it sounds crazy because we keep saying, well, got those interceptions. It makes no plays. This guy he's a gunslinger mentality, and I love him being a quarterback.
I do too, Coach. And I think one thing that was interesting, having the privilege to talk to him earlier this week, and he kind of self-admittedly said, I got outside of the offense. I got selfish. I tried to push the ball downfield too much instead of doing what we do. I think that maturity and also that being able to be coached is a big deal, Tay, and I think that's why they're on the train they are right now.
Yeah, I do too. It's been a pleasure to watch Chandler Morris and get to know him. And keep in mind, he's playing with a bum shoulder. He's been battling it all year, and he does not care.
He's a coach's son. He knows what part. He knows that's part of the game. Hey, what the coach said. I don't want to hear that.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt tomorrow whether you win or lose, so go win it.
We say that a lot about Haynes King at Georgia Tech. You can say the same here for Chandler Morris at Virginia. All right, today's game, Virginia looking for their 8th straight win, trying to stay atop those ACC standings, undefeated in league play. When you're looking at this matchup, X's and O's Y's against Wake Forest, what is key for Virginia today?
Well, for me, it's all about running the football. They have been, when they are good, when they are great offensively, they have ran that ball effectively. We saw them finally get back to that against Cal last week, and that's the secret sauce to me, that they run the ball to then pass. And another thing, Eddie, that I want to see is Chandler Morris run the ball a little bit more. I know he's a little bit banged up, but that is too good of a part of their game and his game to be hindered, to not be able to do that at a high clip, especially in the red zone and on the goal line.
I'm with you because he's dynamic with his leg. It's different because you almost sleep on him because you look at him and you're like, he's not done. But I'm serious. It happened early in the season. But for me, it's the defense, man. You talk about like a team taking on the mentality of a coach and a quarterback. Well, this defense is doing it because it's the never give up, never stop fighting mentality because they've made so many plays at the end of the game that they're giving up a ton of yards. At the end, we need that one play. We need you guys to, and it's that fight mentality that they have in them. And you see it in Chandler, but now these guys are really taking on that leadership role of being like, why not me be the guy who makes the play? Before you're looking around when you're unsure, but when you start winning as a team and the confidence goes throughout the entire locker room, you want to be the guy to stand up and make that play.
We used to have a saying, play don't care who makes it.
That's right.
All right.
Play don't care who makes it. Anybody can make it.
On the Wake Forest side of things, they come into this game 1-9 all time against teams ranked in the top 15 of the college football playoff rankings. Can't say it can't be done. They did it one time a couple of years ago, but it would be a huge feat today, and that would completely shake up the top of the ACC standings, which right now is a little bit cluttered. There are about 6 teams there stacked at the top. You have Virginia up there with 0 losses in conference play, and then a slew of teams with 1 loss. You have Georgia Tech, Pitt, Louisville, SMU, and Duke. Flying under the radar. We talked about it at the top of the show. Those Louisville Cardinals ranked 15th in the first CFP rankings. Today, the Cards host Cal for the first meeting between the two teams ever. Jeff Brom right now has his squad off to its best start since 2016, back when Lamar Jackson won the Heisman Trophy. And check out these odds, too. Louisville now has the 3rd best chance to make the ACC title game at 34%. They just keep sneaking up on you. A win tonight against Cal only ups it 36%, but they have important games against Clemson, SMU to close out their ACC schedule, Kentucky, of course, Thanksgiving weekend. Some major news, though, this week for Louisville. They will be without their star running back in Isaac Brown for the foreseeable future. There's no real timetable, but he will not be playing in this game today against Cal, and we don't know about beyond. Simply put, what does this mean for this Louisville team without Isaac Brown?
Somebody else has got to step up, and for Louisville, it's been Kewan Brown. And he's not getting a lot of credit, but he's been the closer for them. Like, he's 5'10", 210, so they feel a little bit better about giving him the ball at the end of games. But he's had 2 games of over 90 yards rushing the last 2 weeks. So if you're looking for somebody to step up in the absence of your star running back, Kewan Brown, look no further than this guy. They got a small little sample size of what he could do. Now he can move forward being the guy until you get Isaac Brown.
And the coaching staff was very encouraged with what they saw from him. And coming into the season, thought he might even be able to challenge and become the guy. Now he kind of gets that by necessity. Also, the question of, is Duke Watson going to be able to go? If you have that 1-2 punch to kind of replace all that Isaac Brown gives you, that's a big deal there. But I think on the defensive side of the ball, how impressive Louisville has been, how impressive they have looked all year long. I mean, it's the best defense in the conference statistically here. So what do you want to see them do? I would love, Coach, if they would just go a light box, get those defenders out in space, and try to force the issue getting turnovers. Try to muddy that water for that freshman, Sangapolitelli there, who will give the ball up. I mean, as good as he plays, he puts the ball in jeopardy a ton. And can Louisville make dynamic plays time and time again to get their offense? And maybe Miller Moss, who's just up and down a little bit, man, more opportunity.
I agree. And because Cal's got receivers don't get a lot of separation. So they can play a man-to-man, which also the other part of that is put pressure. Make the ball come out of JKS's hand. If you can play a man-to-man and don't worry about the big plays, then put pressure, make that ball come out so he can hold it and get the ball down the field. So I think they'll mix both looks up.
And the reason I said light box, they cannot run. Cal cannot run the ball. They're the worst in the conference. It's just it's who you are. It's who you are at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Confidence meter, going to put you guys on the spot for Louisville right now. Confidence meter, 1 to 10, what would you say?
So what?
Just in confidence in the Cards.
General? 8. I think they're a great team.
Yeah.
I think they're a great team.
I'm at a 7. I want to see Miller Moss play a little bit better. He's missing some throws and missing some opportunities here and there, so he's still growing, and there's still room for growth there. Once he gets there, I'll be with an 8 with you.
I think I'm at an 8, not the possible 10. If they can find somebody to run the football, which I think they will a little bit, and then because defensively, my point is defensively how well they're playing. Yeah. And I agree, Miller needs some help, but he's still dynamic enough to get plays, but they got to be able to run the 2 backs is going to decide to me how much I fall in love with them. If they can get those other 2 guys running the ball.
All right, Cal, Louisville this afternoon as the Cards continue to soar. All right, we got plenty more still to come here on The Huddle. We do have Chris Long joining us in just a little bit as our celebrity guest picker. There you see fans coming out here to O Hill to hang out with us. We do have a game coming up at noon here on the network between SMU and Boston College. Ahmad Moses getting loose today for this big game in Chestnut Hill. He had 2 interceptions last week, including the game-altering one in overtime.
Thanks for the shotgun, looks to throw. Pumps, brings it down, throws across the middle, intercepted! Come on, Moses! He's knocking him again!
Ceramic technology has just the right amount of shine and lasts up to 10 times longer than traditional dressings. Just wipe it on to get professional showroom shine without the greasy mess that slings on your vehicle. You can trust Cerakote's #1 selling family of products with over 60,000 5-star reviews.
This is the best tire coat and protectant you'll ever use, guaranteed.
Buy today for under $20.
For this week's unboxing at Bob's, I'll let Bob shout it.
Thousands of markdowns on clearance and outlet. We're talking living rooms, bedrooms, dining, decor, even mattresses. But move fast, because when they're gone, they're gone. Oh, my Bob!
As teachers, taking care of ourselves is taking care of our students. AG1 gives me a little bit of kickstart to my day, and I know it's full of ingredients that help support my immune system. I've got a whole classroom counting on me. I don't want to miss a day.
Every idea you love began as nothing. Just a flicker on a screen, asking a simple question. What do you see?
All day today, ACCN is bringing you 3 conference matchups, and ACC Huddle will be covering it all throughout the day. Kick things off with SMU and Boston College at noon. Then it's Command Center coverage of Syracuse and number 18 Miami at 3:30. Touchdown Miami! End the night with Florida State and Clemson facing off in a primetime conference showdown. ACC football, all day today on ACCN.
Welcome back to UVA here at Newcomb Hall. There is a 9/11 memorial with an original piece of steel from the World Trade Center. And when you think about 9/11, it's hard not to think about the man in the red bandana.
We do some great games, but there are some games that make you feel like it's more important than the X's and O's, and this is one of those games.
First day on campus, I learned what the red bandana game and what it means to everyone. It's a very passionate game. It's a very passionate, moment that we have.
Wells Crowther was a lacrosse player at Boston College, and he was in one of the towers on 9/11, and when he played lacrosse at BC, he wore a red bandana underneath his helmet, and he actually wore it the day that the planes hit. One of the people that he saved said it was a man in a red bandana that saved me.
The amazing life and legacy of Wells Crowther, this red bandana game in his honor.
It means a lot playing for someone else, but also realizing that football is bigger than just a game.
To run into the fire, to have no hesitation, and literally saying, if you can stand, get up, help me, help these people.
He will never be forgotten, and what he did will always be echoed. And even for the young people, these young kids may not even been born when 9/11 happened, but they're going to know who Wells Crowther was.
Today is that annual red bandana game at Boston College, which started in 2014. It's a time for the community to come together to remember the legacy of one of their own in Wells Crowther. For more on this great tradition, here's another BC alum, our friend Mark Herzlich.
It's something that Wells would have
absolutely loved. He loved BC so much. If he could have seen himself remembered in this way, it really would have meant just the world to him.
For 1 week each fall, Boston College sets aside its traditional colors of maroon and gold for the red paisley of the red bandana, all to honor one man, one hero, Wells Crowther.
To know that his life goes on in the memories of others and in new people learning about his story, it keeps him alive in spirit, which is the only thing you can really ask for when you lose someone too early.